Hello, Jay.
Hello, Raj.
Я выражаю вам огромную благодарность за организованную поездку на предприятие Corsair. А это говорит о том, что вы ведете открытый бизнес и не скрываете вашу деятельность. И людям всегда интересно узнать, а что же за кулисами бизнеса, там, где ничего еще не видно. И я подготовил вам несколько вопросов, чтобы мы могли познакомить наших слушателей и зрителей с тем, что делает Corsair сегодня, какие модели и какие возможности могут получить из этого сотрудничества наши зрители. Окей?
Окей.
Мой первый вопрос следующий. Вы сегодня имеете большую компанию с головным офисом в Бангкоке, с производством действующим, на котором мы были, а также с филиалом в Европе, в Нидерландах. Скажите, как вы начинали этот бизнес? Кто за этим стоит? Есть ли у вас партнеры, соакционеры, или вы это делаете самостоятельно?
Great. First of all, thank you very much for the question, and thank you for having me in this meeting. The company Corsair originally got started in the year 2020 when we took over our first plastic waste chemical recycling facility here in Bangkok, Thailand. Before that, we had already been preparing and planning and putting the right people and the team together in order to get started with the actual operations. We found this location, which had already been operational for the past few years, and we purchased the land, we purchased the factory and some of the machinery that was there, and started to develop that facility towards more international standards. As you mentioned, as a company, we are located and based both here in Thailand as well as in the Netherlands. I am originally from Finland, but we also have some of our partners from the UK and from the Netherlands as well as from here in Thailand. So we as a company, we are 100% a private company owned by the original founders. I represent the majority shareholding in the company, and we are all very, very passionate about developing solutions to fight this plastic waste problem that is really killing our planet right now. Solutions must be developed, they must be put into action, and we all, as a humanity, need to do everything we can in order to fight this pollution problem.
Okay.
Just recently, it was now found out that the plastic manufacturing is expected to double from today during the next 10 years. So basically you could say that the plastic pollution that we see today is expected to double by 2030 and to triple by 2060. So the plastic waste is not in any way a problem that has been solved already. The plastic waste problem is increasing every year. It's just becoming bigger. And we need to do something to tackle that problem and taking that old plastic waste and to convert it into valuable, usable new products and raw materials. But that's a little bit about the history of the company.
Thank you. Мой второй вопрос следующий. У вас классический традиционный бизнес, связанный с производством. И я знаю, что вы привлекали инвестиции и делаете это сегодня традиционным методом. Но параллельно с этим у вас появилась модель с CSR, блокчейн-технологии и токен на блокчейне Ethereum. Почему вы решили использовать эту модель для привлечения инвестиций и масштабирования вашего бизнеса?
Right. Well, I have been involved with digital assets since about 2013. I've seen the growth of the industry, and most importantly, I've seen the development with the blockchain technology. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of all the thousands and thousands of different token projects that are out there, but I am a true believer on the power of the blockchain itself. The blockchain as a technology is something that I believe is one of the most important and significant inventions that the humanity has ever come up with. And I think that we are still in the very early stage of seeing all the capabilities that the blockchain technology can provide. So I'm really a big fan of the blockchain technology. And yes, of course, I'm a big supporter of the cryptocurrency and digital asset industries as well. But really where I see the big potential is the blockchain in general. We decided that in order for us to create something that is publicly accountable, something that is verifiable by everybody, something that is trusted and can be viewed and audited by anyone around the world at any given time, that information, that database has to be stored on the most trustworthy and reliable database, which is the blockchain. Okay. So the CSR plastic credit, which basically follows very, very closely on the footsteps of the carbon credit, therefore is built on the blockchain, where we can provide this public accountability and transparency for everyone around the world. To answer your question, why the CSR? What's the purpose of CSR? So what I would like to highlight is that CSR is not your normal, typical cryptocurrency that many people have seen before. To be honest, I haven't seen anything like CSR done by anybody else before. Because what CSR really is a digital receipt which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment. So it is not a cryptocurrency. It's not intended to be a payment solution or things that people would use to pay for private products and services. You can, of course. Like you can pay with gold or silver or rice or metal, whatever. But the real function of the CSR is to be a digital receipt which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment. Now you might ask, why is this important? Okay, well, let's take a look back first about the carbon credit and the carbon credit market. For the ones of you who are not maybe familiar with the carbon credit market, in the most simplified, easy to explain way, the way that the carbon credits work is that companies that produce carbon emissions will pay for other companies that clean the environment from the emissions. And as an example, on a very practical sense, for example, the Tesla company in the year 2020 actually made more money from selling carbon credits than they actually earned from selling cars. And over the course of the last 5 years, Tesla, for example, has made more than $5 billion from selling carbon credits. Okay? So, companies that pollute will pay for companies that clean. That's simple. And the carbon credit market today is approximately $300 billion per year market. And it is expected to grow, and many analysts have even said that they believe that the carbon credit market will actually become the largest traded commodity in the world, even bigger than oil. Okay? And right in the footsteps of the carbon credit market is the plastic credit. And CSR is not the only plastic credit in the world. We are not the first plastic credit in the world, but we are, without a doubt, the leading plastic credit in the world. And the plastic credit market works in a very similar way like the carbon credit market. Companies that create plastic pollution, which are all the companies that produce the products that we use on a daily basis, all the billion-dollar companies that make all these day-to-day products that we use, those companies are creating major amounts of plastic waste every year. I'm just going to use an example, not to necessarily criticize, but to use an actual data that the companies themselves have released. So, for example, Unilever, which is a major international company producing products that many of us are using every day. Unilever has publicly announced that on an annual basis they produce right now approximately 600 million kilos of plastic waste per year. 600 million kilos. As another example, Nestle, another major international company, generates approximately 1.3 billion kilos of plastic waste per year. Now, both of these companies, together with many other great brands, have now made public commitments to actually, starting from this year, their intention is to remove more plastic waste from the environment than what they actually produce. Because consumers all over the world want to buy products and services from companies that actually take responsibility of their plastic waste footprint. Like we saw a research just recently done in the United States where 85% of the consumers would actually like to buy products from companies that take responsibility of their plastic waste footprint. So these big brands, the Unilevers, the Nestles, the Coca-Colas, Pepsi, Microsoft, Starbucks, so on and so on, they understand that they need to do something. Because the reality is that every single time when you see a picture of plastic waste on the ocean, you see a picture of plastic waste on the beach, those are branded products of a company. And those companies are spending tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every year in branding and advertisement. And they do not want to see their brand in that way. And they know that their customers don't want to see it. So what's really happening now is that the plastic credit is following on the footsteps of the carbon credit. And right now it's a voluntary process. You are not by law obligated to use plastic credits yet. But my speculation, my estimation is that during the next 3 to 5 years, in most parts of the developed world, it will become mandatory by law that any large-scale and medium-scale company is obligated by law to take responsibility of their plastic waste footprint and to use the plastic credits as a method to do that. So, how do these companies, how do they now do that work? How do they go out and they collect hundreds of millions or billions of kilos of plastic waste? How are they going to do that? They are going to do that by working with companies like Corsair. It's that simple. These companies are today already paying between 50 cents and $1 per 1 kilo of plastic waste recovered from the environment. And the most simplest way for these companies to do that is to use the blockchain-based CSR plastic credit, which is publicly auditable, documented, and verified by the community, as well as soon by third-party auditors as well. This is why we're using the blockchain. And this is where we see that in the future, the plastic credit market will develop. My prediction on this is that during the next 3 to 5 years, the plastic credit market, which today is very, very small, will grow to become, I would say, 10% of what the carbon credit market is today. So that means that the plastic credit market from today over the next 3 to 5 years will grow to become $30 billion a year industry. Our target as Corsair with the CSR plastic credit is to secure 10% from that market, which would mean that if those numbers would work out and would become reality, that would mean that CSR would see an annual market of approximately $3 billion a year. That's where we're aiming. And my target is to build the CSR to become and to continue to be the leading plastic credit in the world. We are now starting collaborations with great brands like Novotel, like the Marriott hotels, like the Hyatt, like many, many other major brands. And these companies are now getting involved, beginning to use the CSR plastic credit as a way for them to reduce their plastic waste footprint and also to become certified plastic neutral.
Thank you. Джей, спасибо вам огромное, что вы так глубоко рассказали о идее соединить ваше физическое производство с виртуальными блокчейн-технологиями и выпустить свой собственный токен КСР для того, чтобы упростить взаимодействие между компанией и клиентом. И, насколько я понял из вашего рассказа, КСР – это служебный utility токен. Возникает вопрос, какие выгоды сегодня может получить для себя владелец, держатель этого токена, почему его стоит покупать и какие перспективы КСР, например, для меня или других людей, которые после нашего интервью захотят приобрести его. Насколько я знаю, он сегодня публичный, торгуется на биржах, но также можно приобретать его дешевле от компаний. Расскажите немного об этом.
Great, thank you. Well, to maybe answer the most interesting part first, is that we believe into a significant value increase of the CSR plastic credit in the future. And this is based on the following. I'll explain the reasoning why. Let's start first by looking at why the CSR is so unique. Well, first of all, CSR as a digital asset is backed up by real work. It's not just something created out of nowhere, something based only on hot air. CSR is backed up by real physical work of removing plastic waste from the environment. This is the first reason which makes CSR very unique. So there is already a limited circulation of CSR. Only and only when Corsair is removing a kilo of plastic waste from the environment, it can release 10 CSR plastic credits onto the circulation.
Okay.
The second unique point about CSR is that CSR has an outside digital asset market price. What I mean by that is that because CSR is not the only plastic credit out there. We just spoke about the plastic credit market and what is expected to happen for that. So every plastic credit out there, including CSR, has an already existing market value. Right now, as I mentioned before, big brands and private individuals are happy to pay between 50 cents and $1 per kilo of plastic waste to be removed from the environment. Mm-hmm. As you know, 1 kilo equals 10 CSR plastic credits, which will in this case place the average market value of CSR between 5 and 10 cents per CSR. Again, okay. 10 CSR, 1 kilo, companies are willing to pay between 50 cents and €1, $1 per kilo. So CSR has an actual market price, and this market price has nothing to do with us. We don't control the market price. This is based on the actual trading of plastic credits. And even if CSR wouldn't exist, this market price would be there anyway. This is a very unique situation. The second unique element when you compare CSR to all the other tens of thousands of other tokens out there. Okay? The third unique element of the CSR is that the CSR has an end goal where the end user will actually retire. In other words, burn or destroy the token. Mm-hmm. We like to use the word retirement, which is the most accurate term, but in technical terms, some people might know the term burning. Basically what happens is that the end user, either a private individual or a company who wants to reduce their plastic waste footprint or to become certified plastic neutral, they will buy the CSR from the open market, and then they will use our retirement system to retire that specific amount of tokens. The retirement means that those tokens will be forever removed from circulation. They will be sent into a specific retirement blockchain address, which does not have a withdrawal function. Whatever you send into that address will be forever away from circulation. Nobody can touch it. Mm-hmm. And because of the blockchain technology, this transaction is recorded, and now we can show who is the end user, who was the one who truly eliminated the plastic from the environment. And for that user and for that user alone, the final certificate will be issued. Mm-hmm. So this means that the end target of CSR is to be removed from circulation. Mm-hmm. So while there is already a limited amount of supply, because every CSR is backed up by real work, at the same time, there's also CSR leaving the circulation. And when more demand is coming to the use of plastic credits, that means that more and more companies, now, today, voluntarily, but in the next coming years, obligated by law, are demanded to use plastic credits. These companies will begin to buy the CSR from the exchanges and then retire them, making the supply even smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So even with Bitcoin, every day there is more Bitcoin being mined. CSR goes the other way around. And when there is more demand that is limiting the supply, you're also seeing more push towards the price to increase. Now, starting from the beginning of next year, there will be an additional new element included into the CSR functions as well. And that means that Corsair, as a company, will begin to take a portion of the sales revenue that we receive from selling the oil that we make from the recycled plastic waste. And we're going to take some of that money and we're going to create a buyback program where Corsair as a company will begin to buy CSR every week from the market as well. So there will be more and more demand coming to the CSR on the open market, while the supply will be more and more and more limited. So because of these functions, we believe that CSR will continue to grow. It will have a very wide user base based on some of the largest brands, some of the largest companies around the world, and not to forget our already more than 60,000 individual users that we are now working with all over the world. So I believe that CSR is a very, very unique digital asset Something like this has never been done before, and truly, this is my expectation and estimation, is that CSR will grow to become one of the top 10 digital assets in the world and truly revolutionize the way that plastic waste is being managed globally.
Окей. Джей рассказал нам очень содержательно смысл КСР, что его будет становиться все меньше и меньше. Знаете, это как воды в пустыне, и на улице жарко, а воды мало, и ценность ее поднимается. Так и КСР, его будет становиться все меньше, подобно биткоину, да, и то, чего на рынке мало, а спрос на него растет, оно, конечно же, растет и в цене. Но с той лишь разницей, что КСР сегодня первый на рынке цифровой актив, который привязан к реальному производству и вот к такому вот сырью, пластику, да, то есть каждый килограмм это 10 новых токенов КСР. Джей, вы уже объединили две революционные вещи. Инновационное производство эко-фэктори, да, скажем так, recycle пластик с технологией пиролиза, и блокчейн-технологии, то есть это своего рода токенизация бизнеса, что по своей значимости, наверное, следующее после открытия самой технологии блокчейн, да? Но вы решили еще и добавить третью сюда идею, это метод продвижения КСР через social network платформ Амплива с помощью пользователей, сетевого маркетинга, что у кого-то даже нарицательно. Почему вы решили именно таким методом использовать продвижение КСР на рынок к пользователям?
Well, originally when we got started with Corsair, we had no ambitions of owning or doing a network marketing company. But the Amplivo network, which had been operational already for a few years, and which as a company was in a very bad situation. The company became for sale. The previous owner of the company wanted to sell the company, and we looked into it and eventually made the decision to buy the Amplivo network marketing company in March 2021 last year. Now, this company was, as I mentioned, it was in a bad condition, and the company was nearly bankrupted. It didn't have a clear direction, and we had to do a lot of work for more than 1 year to reshape that company into a situation where we are today, where the company is doing better than ever. It's doing all-time records. The company is expanding faster around the world than ever before. It has now more than 60,000 users and members all over the world, and we see continuous growth with the company and its business every month as we are moving forward. So we're really, really excited and happy, and I think the team that has been developing the company, both in the company, in the corporate, in the administration part, people such as, for example, Mr. Wayne Dobson, who's done a tremendous job in the technology and hands-on day-to-day operations within Amplivo, together with our international global leadership team that has really done a tremendous job all over the world to get everything on the right track. The reason why we decided to take over the company and to implement the network marketing into the Corsair operations was simply because I believe that there is not a single more efficient, faster, and better way to spread your word, spread your message, than by using the network marketing industry. And as we are on this new, massively exciting and quickly developing market of plastic waste chemical recycling, we are up against a lot of competition. There are many other companies who are also competing about the same market share. So we have in our hands right now a sort of a first mover advantage. We are one of the first companies on the market. But we're not the only one. And we need to be able to move faster. And the network marketing organization, as you know from being involved with network for many, many years, when the product and the company is right, the network marketing can be a very, very efficient method.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we have seen on the network marketing industry a lot of bad companies, a lot of bad people. There's been a lot of scams, there's been a lot of companies that simply were interested about making money into the owner's pockets and not interested about their customers or their members. And because of that, the network marketing many times has a bad reputation. Okay, and I have been asked this question many times, Jay, why network marketing? If this is such a great business and company, why network marketing? Well, just to summarize my answer for that, there is no other as efficient, fast, and a powerful way of spreading your message than by using a group of motivated, inspired entrepreneurs from around the world who come together to share a common target, which is to save the planet from plastic waste pollution. And this is the Amplivo network. And we're just getting started. And I see a great future for the Amplivo network. My target is that in the next coming years, we want to develop the Amplivo network to become one of the leading network marketing companies in the world. Maybe even the biggest company in the history of network marketing industry. I truly believe that when the product and the company is right, the network marketing can bring amazing benefits for the actual company and also for the private members and influencers in the Amplivo network.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Друзья, ну что же, сегодня генеральный директор Corsair Group Юсси Салоранта познакомил нас со своей замечательной идеей, которая действительно охватывает каждого человека. И я лично с этим сталкиваюсь, когда ты выходишь на улицу что-то купить в магазин, и ты приносишь домой пластик, и ты смотришь на это, и ты уже не можешь быть к этому безучастным, потому что ты начинаешь задумываться, а что же с этим происходит дальше. Он нам рассказал о интересной идее соединить это с блокчейн-технологиями и дать возможность легко, независимо от границ и финансовых возможностей, участвовать в этом глобальном проекте любому человеку, а также соединил это с уникальной и очень эффективной моделью нетворк-маркетинга, то есть продвижения человека к человеку. И сегодня мы живем в мире социальных сетей, one stories, one public, in my Instagram, my Facebook, many followers looking this video, this post. То есть это действительно очень сильно влияет, сегодня работает. И я очень благодарен, Джей, за то, что вы сегодня рассказали нашим слушателям. И в заключение нашего такого увлекательного интервью я хотел бы задать вам последний вопрос на сегодня. Если бы вы знали, что сейчас вас услышит каждый человек на этой планете Земля, вот свой какой-то важный, короткий месседж, что бы вы хотели сказать этим людям, чтобы они услышали послание Corsair о важности вашей миссии и то, что вы делаете сегодня?
Great. Well, my message that I would like everybody around the world to hear is that Corsair is a real, fully established company doing, even if the company is young, doing very well. We are here to stay. Our target is to become one of the leading plastic waste chemical recycling company in the world. And we are going to do that by implementing functions such as the CSR plastic credit and the Amplivo network. And because of this, all of us can be part of this amazing plastic waste revolution, which is happening right now in front of our very eyes. If you think that something must be done for the plastic waste pollution problem, then this is your opportunity. If you are looking to create a new source of income for yourself, especially now during record high inflations and financial crisis and all of these events that are taking place around the world, if you want to create for yourself a new source of income, this is your opportunity. If you are looking to be focusing on full time on your own business, on your home-based business, while at the same time helping to clean the planet, and you want to make a full-time income by doing a home-based business, then this is your opportunity. And if you're looking to build a fortune, this is what I've told you many times, Raj. In this industry of plastic waste recycling, we are looking at one of the largest, one of the biggest opportunities ever in our lifetimes. And mark my words today, there are going to be millionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires created on this industry. And we are right now, right in the middle of this massive revolution that is happening, which is supported by every single government, every single international organization, because they all understand that we have to do something for the plastic pollution. If you look at everything that's happened in the world before, the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. I have never seen in my life a more rewarding, more inspiring, and more passionate business model than what we have here right now, where there is no end to the financial opportunities that we have. There's no end to the expansion that we can create around the world. There's no end to the amount of money that you as a Amplivo influencer are able to earn from this. There's no limit on how valuable the CSR can become. And therefore, I know that we are in the right place at the right time. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. So, whatever is your dream, whatever is your target, however you would like to be involved in this operation, this mission to benefit from these financial opportunities while at the same time cleaning our planet from the plastic pollution that is killing it. This is the right time and this is the right place. Thank you.
Друзья, ну что же, я только хочу сказать следующее. Вместе с Corsair мы можем очистить наш пластиковый след на этой земле и оставить след в истории. Together for more.
Together. That's what we're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.